Hello, and welcome back to the Audio Elgin podcast. This is Abigail Fritz, and today I'm speaking with Donna Snowden about growing up in Elgin and her work as County Commissioner. Could you start by telling me where you were born?
Well, my parents were living in Elgin, but I was actually born at St. David's Hospital in Austin. But we lived in Elgin, and we lived in Elgin until I was 5 years old. And then we moved to Corpus, and we moved back in 1961, right before my freshman year in high school.
What did your parents do?
Well, my mother was a stay-at-home mom, and my father was a brick mason, a highly skilled job back then. And then my mother never worked while I was in school until I think it was my senior year of high school. She opened Lundgren's Cafe, which was on 11th Street. She had the cafe for about 20 years, and everybody remembers the food. It was delicious. But the new owner only was able to keep it open for about a year, then it closed up.
That must have been disappointing for her to see.
Well, it was disappointing for us because we missed that food. But, everything changes. But it was called Lundgren's Cafe, and they had hamburgers and steaks and enchiladas. And everybody talks about her chicken fried steak and her enchiladas. And it was just everything in there was very, very good.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any memories from the time before your family left Elgin?
I remember when I was 5, I was elected band mascot. So I got to march with the Elgin High School band for every football game. And I got to ride the high school bus with the band to every out-of-town football game. It was so much fun, and I remember it clearly. And my grandmother made my purple velvet uniform, and I had the white boots that all the majorettes wore. And Lena Lee Danley was the drum major. And there were 4 majorettes and 1 drum major. And when I marched with the marching band, I would march right behind the drum major before the majorettes. And I would think I was doing really well keeping up. And I would be trying my best. And I would look up and think I was where I was supposed to be. I'd be back in the middle of the band. And so I'd have to run to catch up and get back in place. It was really hard for me to keep up with the band. But every year, the high school band would go to San Antonio for the annual Battle of the Flowers parade, and it was a 5-mile parade. So I rode the bus with the high school band, and my grandfather, Howard McGee, and my grandmother, John Joe McGee, went with me. And so my grandfather marched the whole parade with me in case I got tired so that I could get out of the parade and go with him. But I didn't. I marched the whole 5 miles. Remember that. It was a lot of fun.
Now, I know that you are currently serving as the County Commissioner for Bastrop, so can you tell me a little about that?
My husband was elected as County Commissioner in 2012, and he served for 6 years, and in January he passed away unexpectedly. And I was asked by the county judge if I would consider taking an appointment, not to finish his term because he'd just been reelected for 4 more years. And so I will just serve for 2 years. And, but I've already decided I'm going to run again. Mm-hmm. I enjoy it. I love it. I've learned a lot. I was very involved with my husband when he was commissioner, and we talked about the roads every evening. That's the main job of a county commissioner, or taking care of your roads, your county roads. But I've learned there's a lot more to it than that. Right now we're working on the budget for the county, and it's a very interesting job, but it's a job where I'm able to help people. Bastrop County is growing. And so we're having lots of people selling their land, their family farms. It's being subdivided into subdivisions or 5 and 10 acre tracts of land. All of that has to come through Commissioner's Court to be approved.
So what does a county commissioner do day to day?
So I go to the courthouse in Bastrop probably 4 times a week. We have Commissioner's Court every other week. My next one will be Monday, and we will be working on the budget. I have an office here in the new county annex where I can meet Miles Milburn as my road foreman. And so I'll get in the truck with him about once a week, and we ride the roads just to see what's going on, what needs to be fixed, if we're working on a road, how it's going, that type of thing. My husband built a brand new county annex while he was a commissioner. And then he also bought some property right next to it to enlarge the county barn where the crew works out of, where we store our equipment. It's a beautiful building, and it's a lot safer for our crew.
Yeah. What are some of the more challenging aspects of being county commissioner?
It's entirely different than teaching school in so many ways.
Certainly sounds like it.
Well, I'm in an adult world now instead of with children.
Mm-hmm.
So I love working with the county crew and the road foreman and then everyone at the courthouse, the county judge, the other commissioners. It's frustrating sometimes. What you think should get done doesn't get done.
Yeah.
It's different.
Unlike with children, you can't just tell them to do and make
Right.
what to do and make it happen.
Right. So it's very interesting. It's frustrating, but it's a job where I'm able to help people.
I'd like to thank Donna for her fantastic interview. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and check out the rest of the Audio Elgin podcast. You can also visit us at the Elgin Depot Museum, which is located on Elgin's Main Street and is open Wednesdays through Fridays from 10 to 2.